What's going on, everybody? Leo Cannell here with today's Seven Figures Club podcast, my friends. Remember, the purpose of this podcast is to help you to break into the Seven Figures Club because, as we know, my goodness, only 7% of businesses actually make it to the Seven Figures Club. So today, I'm going to talk about the importance of going all in with one business, one niche, and why that's vital to get to the Seven Figures Club. So let's get started.
There are over 32 million businesses in the U.S. and over 90% of them will never break seven figures in annual sales. So how do we as entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs break into that seven figures club? This podcast will relentlessly share the secrets, strategies, and tactics I've used to create 3 multi-seven figures businesses and bring in even more successful entrepreneurs than me to share their inspirational stories and tactics to success. You can create your dream business and life right now. So buckle up and let's go.
All right, guys. Hope you're doing very well. It's been a very busy last few weeks. I just spoke at a conference in Tampa Bay where it was beautiful. I think I mentioned this in the last episode because obviously I was talking about events and how vital these events are and important. It was funny. I was up on stage and I asked the audience of about 500, attendees at this conference. I said, guys, what percentage of business owners actually make $1 million a year? And this lady knew the stats and she screams out 7%. I'm like, dang, that's impressive. And as I was thinking about what does it take to build that seven figures business and join the Seven Figures Club, there's a few things that come to mind. And at the forefront of it is it's actually not that difficult, right? It comes down to number one. Do you have a product or a service that you do very well, that you understand very well, that you can deliver at a high level? If you have one product or one service that you can do very well and deliver at a high level, great, that's part of it. The next thing is, can you generate leads and clients to serve who will buy your product or service? And that's really the first two steps. I'd say the third step is having some systems and processes and team in place to get you there. If you have those three things, then you can get into the Seven Figures Club. So let's unpack that. What does that mean? Well, number one, let's start with the product or service. You've got to have a great product or service that solves a problem that your customer or clients have. So, for example, I remember over a decade ago when it was the recession of 08 and 09. So, what are we talking? 13 years ago it was. And during that time, I had $5 million in real estate property that I could not sell. And I foolishly had bought the most expensive one. So even if I was renting those out, I was never going to be able to make the mortgage payment ever. So I was pretty unfortunate in that regard. And yet I got really good at dealing with these banks and stopping foreclosure and doing loan modifications. And so I was pretty good at that. In fact, I was really good at it. Probably one of the best, but I wasn't doing anything other than helping myself and the properties I had. And so it was a few years later and I was not quite into the business funding space, hadn't launched my funding empire yet, but the business I started before that was this cute little business called Keep My Casa that I started. And what a great name, Keep My Casa. And it was what had happened was I read this book by Laurel Langmeyer, who is kind of one of those, she was in The Secret. I don't know if you saw that, I guess it was kind of like a movie back in 2006 or 7, something like that. And it was a book, and it was all about positive thinking, ordering your dream life from the universe, basically. But she, in this book, to her credit, taught that, listen, this isn't rocket science. What are you good at? Create a business around what you're good at. Notice she didn't say, what are you passionate about? Build a business around your passions. That can help. But if you're not actually good about it, well, it doesn't matter, right? I'm an okay wakeboarder, but if I build a business around teaching people to be great wakeboarders, I mean, I'm pretty good, but I'm not professional level. I really probably not someone who should be teaching. I'm not doing a bunch of backflips out there wakeboarding. So my passion is not going to be really my business in that sense. It's not the best example. But in this sense, I was really good at stopping foreclosure. And so at the time, there was millions of people across the country who were in foreclosure. So I built this product out like, hey, I'm going to help people, stop foreclosure, force the bank to work with them and get a loan modification done. And so I got really good at that, and I started a business around that. And all of a sudden, before long, you build a great product that does what you say it's going to do. Hey, can you actually stop foreclosure and help me with a loan modification? Yes, I can. And before long, we had over 100 clients paying us every single month to, stop foreclosure. And I helped keep a lot of people in their homes. And I look back now and I wonder, did I do the right thing? I think I did, because a lot of people suffered and it was a tough time. And let's be honest, most of the suffering was the result of poor decisions by those people, poor decisions myself, where I had $5 million in properties because I made bad investment decisions, had not realized that the market could actually tank and go the other way. And I feel like right about now, everybody in 2021 thinks real estate properties can only go up. It can't come down. Well, let me give you some news. It can come back down. It's unlikely to right now, of course, but people don't realize that. But back to the subject at hand, which is choose a business that is really centered on a product or service you can deliver on. And so at the time I was good at stopping foreclosure. I got that business going. And when you build what's called a productocracy by one of my favorite authors, MJ DeMarco, like you actually don't have to do that much marketing because word of mouth will spread. Hey, this guy's good at what he does. Go see him, and birds of a feather flock together. So if you have one client, they might know other clients, and that's pretty much how it worked. So create a great product or service. I did that. And then I started to figure out, well, where can I market it? And I found other people who were in similar niches, and they worked with people who were struggling with foreclosures and loan modifications. And then they started to refer their clients to me, and I gave them a referral fee and built up this whole business because we had a good product that delivered. We had a way to market it. And then I started to put systems and processes. Now, I didn't do that business longer really than about a year, because number one, I wanted to get into the business funding space. I had been seeing success there. Number two, I wanted to work with people who were building things. And the problem with people who were in foreclosure is they were just trying to avoid, that difficult thing, but they never got their money right. They never started to look at why they were in the horrible situation, what they could do to fix it, create values and principles to succeed. So inevitably, and of course, a lot of them didn't follow through with their commitments because that's kind of why they were in the situation in the first place. So I came to the next step. All right, I'm going to start a business funding business. And so I knew I was good at the funding product, but I had to build out a marketplace. I had to cover all of the different funding options so I could look someone in the eye and say, hey, I'm getting you the best funding you qualify for and that exists on the marketplace. So it took time to build out that product or service. Really, it took about a year to get it, maybe even probably a couple years to get it to the point where I covered everybody. And then once I had that down, then I started figuring out, all right, we've got to have great online reviews. We've got to have a great website. We've got to have great, software and technology where someone can apply and go into a CRM system that I can manage, that we can process things. And so one thing, led to another, and all of a sudden we had a great product. We had a great service. We had marketing. We built a referral partner network. And then we had systems and processes put in place to grow it. And with my first couple, we got close to that 7 figures mark. And it wasn't really until it was pretty close in 2016. But by 2017, definitely early on within like 2 or 3 months, we'd already done $1 million in sales in 2017. And since then, nearly every year, except when Well, no, actually it has been. It's been every year. My businesses have always done over 7 figures or multiple 7 figures in business, sales, and revenue. And so it starts by figuring out, how do I create a wonderful product? And your product has to have a competitive advantage. What makes you, everybody always wants to know what makes you different, what makes you better than the competition out there. And so you have to figure that out. And for us in our industry, well, it's not just funding the client, it's providing and empowering them with better education about credit and finance. It's building out this 20 module entrepreneur education portal that I built out for entrepreneurs, so now they can go and succeed in their business, and other funding companies don't have that. It's creating a funding partner software that has better training and better tracking and software than our competitors do. So you have to differentiate yourself in the marketplace and give yourself a competitive advantage. Once you do that and you do what you say you're going to do, now you got to figure out a way to market. And the best way to market is, yes, there's online platforms, there's online reviews, but the best way to generate leads and deals is through strategic partners. And Russell Brunson's Dream 100 concept, really, that was exhibited by none other than the late great Chet Holmes, who was Tony Robbins' partner, also worked under Charlie Munger, who was Warren Buffett's partner. That's someone who you definitely want to look at, that strategy of the Dream 100 strategy, because they already have your clients, build the relationship, and you'll have business forever. And it's really been powerful to see it happen in our business, where we went from literally generating 50 leads a week to 100 leads a week to 500 leads a week to 1,000 leads a week. And that's when you've got good marketing, and then you've got to have great systems and processes, technology, client relationship management tools. You've got to have a team. You've got to train your team. You have to choose wisely, build a culture upon values and principles. And that's kind of the 3-pronged step process. Get your product and service right. Figure out the marketing and the leads, find the strategic partners who already have your customers, and then systems, processes, and a team to scale it and nail it, and away you go. Well, there you are, my friends. Hope you enjoyed today's 7 Figures Club podcast. I know I did. I'm exhausted now. I'm going to go home and eat some dinner. And then, unfortunately, I'm going to probably have to do some more work till late tonight. But hey, that's the life we lead, and I love it. So I'll see you soon on the 7 Figures Club podcast.
Are you looking for more 7-figure secrets, content, or even how you can launch your own recession-proof business? Then check out 7figures.com. That's the digit 7, FIGURES.com, where we share more videos, stories, strategies, funding solutions, entrepreneurial education, and even the secret business type that's recession-proof. Thank you for listening, and if you're finding value in our podcast, please give us a 5-star and invite others to join the club.